Yo! My friends, what's going on, everyone? My name is Kai. Welcome to the channel. Consider subscribing, helps the channel grow big time. Guys, I have an amazing video for you today. I've wanted to make this video for over 3 weeks. Unfortunately, the weather where I am is not agreeing with me, and we haven't had a moment of sun in the last 3 weeks. I finally have it now, so I'd really like to make you this video. Guys, if you watch my live streams, you have seen the ridiculous amount of video games I have in the background, and I've really wanted to show them off for a really long time. I know that I made a game tour video the very first time I came back from Japan, but a lot has changed. A lot has changed since then. So in this video, we're just gonna go through my game room, my office, my studio, you know, all of that stuff. You're gonna see where I live stream from. You're gonna see all my collectibles. You're gonna see all of my video games and stuff. It'll be a really cool video. And then at some point during the video, I will talk about some of the super rare items in my collection, because I do have some extraordinarily rare video games and video game accessories. So guys, I'm really excited to show you that. Stick with me. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it, and we're going to start with my shelf right behind me when I'm live streaming. I've got my shelf here, and let me just take the camera off the tripod here and get a little close up on it, and then we'll talk about it for a moment. So, this is my main display. This is where I take my favorite of my boxed Nintendo 64 collection, and I display it like that. I've got about 85 boxed Nintendo 64 games. You'll see those in a moment. I just don't have enough room on the shelf. So what I've done is I've selected what I think is the best art, some of the best art out of all of the boxed copies. For example, the Legend of Zelda boxed art is just beautiful in Japan, you know? Another box art that I really like is this Ultraman SD collection. I really like that. So that's what I do. I take my top picks for my favorite box art, and I put them here, you know. I've got a couple other things on here. I've got a couple boxed Famicom games. Some of the games that I'm the most proud of when it comes to the Famicom are these two games here. These games are Takeshi's Challenge, and if you guys remember the game show MXC, or Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, back in Japan it was called Takeshi's Challenge. It was a very popular game show, and this is a Famicom version of that game show, and this is a game that was 100% created by the comedian Beat Takeshi. I think Beat Takeshi is a very cool guy, you know, so I really like to collect things from him, and the fact that he's got a couple Famicom games, I think that's pretty cool. I know you guys might not know what I'm talking about, but if you do remember the show Most Extreme Elimination Challenge, that was Takeshi's show, you know? Good stuff. Another thing I have up here that is really cool is this Link bag. This bag here is from when I went to Nintendo New York. So that is a bag from Nintendo New York, and I think it's a great display piece, so I threw it up there. A couple other things that are neat on this shelf are up here. we've got different noodles from Japan. So I've got the Pokemon noodle. Of course, you gotta have the Pokemon noodle. But then I also have this. I've also got gaming cup noodle. So it's like a regular gaming. It's like a regular cup noodle, but it has added caffeine into it, so you can stay up late eating those noodles. A couple other things I have here. I'm a huge fan of Sanrio and Hello Kitty, and you'll probably see that in just a moment, but this is a display box for some toy, and I saw it at the dollar store, and I emptied everything out of the box, and then I said, "Can I have this?" And they said, "Is it empty?" I was like, "Oh yeah, it's empty." So I took it. I thought it would be a really good display piece. So that is what is up here. Some of the other things that are on this top shelf, I will go into more detail in just a moment when I show some of my rarest games. But from now, we will move on to the bottom of the shelf. So I will do another camera cut. I'll show you the bottom area of this, and then I'll talk about it for a moment. Be right back. Alright, so while we're down here, this is the background of my live streaming area. So we've got an oversized Pokemon card, we've got a photo that I did of New York City. We've got a couple other things here. We've got some fan art. Jazz, one of my fans, did this art of me up here. We've got some cool stuff. This is an exclusive poster from Biohazard Death Island that I got in round 1 in Japan. Very, very cool. And then here I've got an entire encyclopedia of every Famicom game ever released. So I'm doing a check mark kind of thing. Oh, this is Don Pen. This is the Don Quixote penguin from Japan. As you can see down here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. We've got 15 copies of the greatest game ever created, Shogi. We've got 15 box copies of that. I've got a very small PlayStation 4 collection, but we've got Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 2, and then Fallout 4. So that's good stuff. And then if we just move the camera over a little bit like this, I can show you this part. Let me show you. Let me show you its features. Okay, and then down here, this is my retro gaming TV. It's a fantastic TV. It sounds great. Very good picture for RF cable stuff. Aux, you know what I'm talking about, the cables. This is some cool stuff down here. So, I've got a Famicom here. I've got a Famicom joystick down here. Oh, can you see? I don't think you can see. I don't think you can see. There we go. Okay, so I've got a Famicom down here. I've got a Turbo arcade joystick here. I've got the Train Conductor controller. The Train Conductor controller for the Nintendo 64 Train Simulator game. So that's pretty cool. Don't mind the dust. I haven't dusted in a little while. But then up here we've got some copies of Nintendo Power, thanks to my friend Retro Cart Collector. I really appreciate that. We've got some Nintendo Powers. We've got the Toys R Us Gold Edition Nintendo 64. Very happy about that. I've got a portable Famicom here. Works really, really well. Got that in Japan. All this stuff is from Japan, right? And then this. Hey, do you want to buy a Switch? Do you want to buy a Switch? I have Switches. I have Switches for $8. You want to buy a Switch? Here. Here, buy a Switch. Okay. So I bought a $8 Nintendo Switch, and it's just about as good as you could possibly imagine it. The packaging is something else. It's almost like an Apple product. But check this bad boy out. When you're on the airplane and you need something good to game on, look how small the screen actually is. And these don't do anything. These are just plastic. But you know what? For a crappy handheld, all the games in this are made for the system. Like they're not crappy bootleg games. They're actually games that somebody made just to fill up this system. And some of them aren't bad. Some of them aren't bad. I mean, it's not really that hard to mess up a puzzle game, right? So, some of those are not bad. I will be giving this bad boy away in an upcoming giveaway after we do the Game Boy Advance giveaway. Speaking of giveaways, guys, I'm giving away this Game Boy Advance. It's well used. I'm just putting it out there. It's well used. But it works perfectly fine. It is missing the back battery thing, though. It works perfectly fine. If you guys don't know about the contest I'm doing on my vlogs, you just need to watch my vlogs, find the little ugly stuffed animal in it, and let me know when you found it. And I'm giving away a Game Boy Advance. So I will leave more information about that giveaway in the description if you are interested. I'm giving away Game Boy Advance, and I'm giving away some games with it. Either way, that is about this area. You know, I've got a couple masks up here that you guys are probably pretty familiar with after seeing them in my vlogs for so many times. But I've got lots of masks up here. I really enjoy masks. So let's move on to the next area. What should we do next? You know what I think we'll do? Before I show you the entire wall of video games, I'll show you this. I'll show you this new area that I've built recently. Give me 1 second. Alright, my friends. Yeah, so this is a little area that I've created for myself recently. I've had so many little knickknacks and toys from Japan that I needed to get a designated shelf for them. So I've got that. Most of this stuff has come from Japanese gachapon machines. Lots of fun. Very addictive, though. Either way, so that's my area here. I've got my Super Famicom games up here. I've got my Nintendo Switch games. I've got my little Hello Kitty Sanrio collection here. I'm a huge fan of Sanrio, so I like to have that out on display. So that is the corner area of the room. I think now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the top shelf. This top shelf, it's full of Ultraman kaiju figures. And there's a ton of Nintendo 64 box games. The games are actually 4 deep against the wall. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. If you are interested in seeing every one of my games, I'm doing a series right now on my shorts where I just go through every single game that I have. If you're interested in seeing every one of them, check that out. But for now, I'll just show you what the top shelf looks like, and we'll talk about it for a moment. And then we'll move on to the big wall of games. Give me one sec. Alright everyone, so that was the top shelf. What I do with the top shelf is, I'm a huge fan of Ultraman, if you haven't been able to tell. I'm a huge fan of Ultraman, and Ultraman the series, there's so many kaiju monsters in there. I know a lot of people from the West really only know like Godzilla and like Godzilla's branch of monsters, but if you do like those kind of movies, the tokusatsu movies, if you do like that kind of stuff, look into Ultraman, because Ultraman has some of the most ridiculous men-in-suit costumes you've ever seen. And while I'm in Japan, I love to go to places like Yodobashi Camera, Bic Camera, and they all sell these action figures, and they're all dirt cheap. They're all 400 yen each, so about $3 each. So I've collected a bunch of them. Next time I go to Japan, I'll get a bunch more. But I also keep up there the Assy Stick Turbo, where is it? This guy up here, the box for the control stick that I have for the Famicom. Finding that kind of stuff in the box with all the styrofoam and all of that is significantly harder to do than just finding the normal thing. So I really like collecting Famicom accessories in the package, just because of how high-tech they look and everything. I mean, look at this box. Like, you're out, keep in mind that these are for 8-bit games, right? These are for 8-bit games. And you're at the store, and you see this bad boy, you know? All this thing looks like is this, right? This is what it looks like, right? But you see the graphics on this box, and you're like, oh my lord, I'm gonna become the best commander ever. And then you're playing, you know, Top Gun or something, but finding it in the box is very cool because it's from a time in video games where people were still new to it. You know what I mean? People were still new to the concept of video games, so they were so primitive back then, but you would have companies like this, and the way that they advertise it, it just looks so above and beyond what it could actually deliver, you know what I mean? It's a really cool time in video game history, you know? Okay, so next we'll do the main event. I'll show you guys my all the games on the walls here. We're gonna get rid of my squid hats real quick. I have a wide variety of squid hats. I used to wear these on stream. I don't know why I don't wear these on stream anymore. You know what? I think tonight I'm gonna wear the black one. Okay. Yeah. So now I can show you guys the walls of games. So what we have here, we have Famicom games and Nintendo 64 games and Game Boy games. So give me one sec, I'll show you that real quick and then we'll talk about it. So, a little bit about the loose games that I've collected. So, I've talked about it on my live streams a couple times. I am trying my best to collect the entire Nintendo 64 catalog. Every game in every region, so all the North American games, all the Japan games, all of the Australian games, all the Europe games. I'm trying to do that. I'm mixing it up. You know, so I'm not strictly collecting just North American titles and just Japanese titles. The entire collection will be a mix of Japanese games and English games. However, something that I think that you should probably know is Japanese games are usually significantly cheaper than North American titles. For example, I have Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo 64. In Japan, you could easily pick that up for probably 20 American dollars for all 3 games. That price here is absolutely insane because here in Canada, picking up all 3 games would cost you about $300. So, a lot of the first-party games that are expensive here in North America are super cheap in Japan, and the third-party games that are here in North America are super expensive over in Japan. So, for example, a terrible game like Dark Rift, right? You can buy that game in Canada for probably $5, but the same game in Japan is like $400. So, if you are going to Japan, keep in mind, if you're going to go video game hunting, video game collecting, all you need is like $50 to put together a good set of games for whatever you're collecting for. And if you have $200, you can get a system, you can get probably 10 games and an accessory or 2. So collecting video games in Japan is very inexpensive in the long run, you know. I have put together my entire Nintendo 64 collection, my entire Famicom collection. Everything in my room is worth about 75 to 8 grand, right? And I've only invested about $3,500 into it, which is great, you know. To be able to make that much back on an investment and to be able to play it is great. So guys, if you're going to Japan, keep in mind you can put together an amazing collection for probably $200, you know? So that's why I have so many loose games. One thing is, you might be wondering, why do I have 40 loose copies of Shogi? Why do I have 40 loose copies of this? Why do I have 40 loose copies and 15 boxed copies? Why do I do it? Well, I'll tell you why. Just give me a second. God, you're so nosy. The reason why I have so many of these Shogi games is because it's the greatest game ever created, and if one of them breaks, I want to be able to have a backup. And then if that one breaks, I want to be able to have a backup. You have no idea how much I play these games. I play these games until the cartridges are red and burning in the system because I play them so often, and I do not want to lose this amazing game, so I have about 60 copies of it. If you had a favorite game, you'd do the same thing. Okay, guys, there's not too much left to show. One thing that I do want to show is right over here. I'm not going to show you too much of my closet because nobody wants to see my closet, but this mask is a Majora's Mask. Very cool. It's the second Majora's Mask I have in the room. This was given to me by my sister on Christmas one time. She got somebody to make it, and I think that it's just absolutely amazing, so I wanted to show you. Another thing I wanted to show you is my sealed Pokemon collection here. So, all of these here are, I guess, sleeves of different Pokemon sets, and I know that in a while they'll be worth quite a bit. So this is my collection of sealed Pokemon product, And then there's my closet. Here is my streaming area. So this is where I'm chilling, you guys. This is where I'm chilling. I've got my computer, I've got my second computer, I've got my monitor, and then I've got, of course, the map of Kyoto, the Tokyo subway map, a picture of my dogs, and a picture of my Oma. This woman here saved my life. If it wasn't for her, none of you guys would have ever met me. So I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is where I'm streaming. So if you ever see me looking off to the side, if you ever see me staring off one way or the other, yeah, I've got two computers in front of me and a big screen. All right, my friends. So that was the room tour. That's my gaming room. I have one last thing I want to show you before I leave. I want to show you my little plush collection because I love kawaii stuff. So I've got a little plush collection. Either way, my friends, I really hope that you liked that video. There's going to be a part 2. In part 2 of this video, I'm going to be going over the most expensive, the most rare items that I have in my collection. It'll be all different systems, Nintendo 64, Famicom, Super Famicom. I've got some really rare stuff that I'd like to show you guys, but I'm going to split it up into 2 videos. Members, you're going to get that early. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I just want to remind you, if you've gotten this far, I have merch now. I have awesome merch now. My merch company is, it has been launched. I'm very proud of it. Check it out down below. I'm sure there's some products down there being advertised. And check out the link. I'll put it in the description. If you guys ever want to support me and get something back for it, this would be a great way to do that. I've got some great designs out there, and I'm really proud of them. Consider buying yourself some merch. It would really help the channel. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I'm always live streaming, so if you like my channel, hang out for a bit. I'll probably be live in about a couple hours. Other than that, guys, have a really wonderful day. Uh-oh. The police have been called. Oh no, I gotta go.
Thank you for watching そばリビング